What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Carlos Arroyo here, and today we're going to be talking about something I hold near and dear to my heart, and that's strikes. I bet a lot of people didn't think I even like strikes, considering I'm a mainly PvP channel, but I'm actually a really big fan, and I was a huge fan up until Destiny 2 launched. Strikes just haven't been the same, and I feel like they really aren't addressed as much as they should be. To be clear, we are talking about match-made strikes, not the Nightfalls. The Nightfall strikes is a whole other can of worms, dude. I don't even want to get into that right now, but match-made strikes just don't feel good. And in this video, we're going to be talking about solutions and problems that are brought up about, match-made strikes. So it'll be a fun one. Before we get into it, I'm gonna have to do the begging thing where I ask you to subscribe and like the video because it helps me out. But now that that's out of the way, let's get right into the video. I say the biggest contributor to strikes falling from grace is absolutely the loot. If you don't actually know, we got one strike specific gun this year, and it's Xenoclast. Yeah, yeah, that's it. And how many people do you see using a Xenoclast? So we kind of got fucked over in Beyond Light, especially with sunsetting and them taking away so many of our guns and only really adding back one. Not to mention that all of the strike specific loot tied behind Nightfalls, which in my opinion is stupid because Nightfalls, if you don't know, aren't match made. So you're gonna have to go in LFG, bring together a team just to get your hands on a fucking DFA. Oh wait, the DFA sunset and doesn't have fucking random rolls, even if you could get it. Clearly, loot in the strike playlist is lacking. It is so pathetic how little we have to work for in there. And I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons that strikes are where they are. Even if we just overlook the whole fact that there are no weapons to work for in strikes, there's nothing else. There's nothing else. I mean, there's the bright dust that you get from the bounties, which you complete in like 3 strikes, and then there's the pinnacle, which, oh, you complete in like 3 strikes. Yeah, that's not good. Not to mention that they only really added like 2 quests for the strike playlist, one of which was able to be completed in Crucible and Gambit. So, not really much of a reason to jump into strikes these days. It's just so unbelievably dry. Now that we've established that there's fucking nothing you get from strikes, let's talk about the strikes themselves. And the normal strike playlist, sorry if I offend anyone here, but it's too easy. It is so easy compared to what it used to be. If you don't know, in this entire strike, I didn't die once. Alright, this shit was the easiest shit of my life. I hopped on and just played a strike and didn't die once and got through it just easy. And I know that that sounds nice, but I don't want that. I want challenge in a strike. And I don't want something absurd like the Grand Master. I just want a genuinely fun challenge that is match made where I don't have to find a fucking team for. The normal strikes are too easy. The modifiers especially, they are shells of what they used to be in Destiny 1. Destiny 1, you remember burns? Where the element you used and the element the enemies used actually mattered? Yeah. Now we have singes, and if I recall correctly, they're only 10% increases of damage, when burns in Destiny 2 was either 100 or 200% increase. We need shit like that. We need outrageous modifiers like that, where it just makes it fun. Not to mention that you're just laughably over leveled. Compared to all of these enemies, you're like 100 light levels ahead of them. And that's stupid. You should you should be challenged. And I'm sorry I'm saying I hate people who say all the time during their points, but I'm just so frustrated with the fact that strikes are so easy and have so little reason to be done. I think it's stupid, and I think that they really gotta focus on it more. Now, with short-term solutions, these are solutions that I believe would be easy to implement, but take it with a grain of salt. I am not a game dev, but these things seem pretty easy to implement, and I feel like they've shown that they've been able to do this. The first thing I wish that they would implement is they gotta add an avenue for those Nightfall specific guns to be acquired in this normal strike playlist. Uh, I don't think this is too controversial. I think if they added something like the skeleton key system they did in Destiny 1 that it would work, but I would be pretty open to them innovating. I'd rather them have a new system rather than just copy all the Destiny systems, though I do believe they were good. We just need something else in the Strike playlist and something cool and unique in there. And if that's the easiest and quickest way to do it, then so be it. And with that, that also means that they gotta bring like the Mindbenders, all those strike specific weapons. They gotta bring them back up to this level, and they have to unsunset them and reissue them with new perk pools at the very fucking least. That's something that I think will give a jump start to the strike playlist and at least give some sort of reason to farm strikes. Another thing that I really want them to do is up the difficulty. I can't imagine it's too difficult to up the difficulty of strikes. I feel like it's just like a matter of changing the number or a value, but maybe I'm wrong. Obviously, once again, not a fucking game dev, but I feel like it'd be a lot easier. And I also think they should add more modifiers and make the modifiers a bit more intense, you know? Because the modifiers right now, they don't really matter. They don't change the way that you play a strike. They just are there. And you can, like, use something that the modifier, like, values. You cannot do something the modifier doesn't like. And it doesn't fucking matter. You're gonna finish the strike. You're gonna be fine. It's not that big of a deal. I just wish that they'd add some more emphasis on the modifiers and make them a bit more effective. The third thing I think they should do in the short term is just bring back all of the strike weapons. Like, you know, we have a lot of year one Destiny 2 weapons that we're just sitting on, so if you really can't make new weapons, then just bring these back with updated perk pools, and that should at least do something. That should sustain us for a little bit. And I don't think it'd be that bad of an idea. I wouldn't mind just them bringing back all those strike weapons and giving us kind of a reason to grind again. And we gotta stop with that whole world loot pool bullshit. We're not throwing them in the world loot pool shit. That was a funny idea, Bungie, but no, you're not doing that anymore. That's just stupid. That completely devalued tokens. Tokens are fucking useless right now. Now, in the long term, I think they gotta give just a bit more focus on making the match-made strikes better than all the effort and focus they've been giving the Nightfall strikes. They have been focusing on Nightfall strikes far, far too long. I don't think people fucking care about that. I think people want like the normal strikes to be good. So maybe do things like just innovate. That's all I'm asking. I just want them to make new things for it. And if that means adding like sort of a system they're doing with Crucible now, like next season, that'd be great. I mean, I'd be open arms for that, but they gotta do something to make it better. Also, something they gotta do in the long term, they gotta make more fucking strikes because 2 strikes this season isn't cutting it. That's not enough at all. I could go through 2 strikes like a few times and already be sick of them. We just need a whole influx of strikes. Hell, a whole influx of shit in just the core playlist, but once again, that's a different video. Something else that they could probably do to make them better is tie some more like catalysts and maybe exotics to strikes. Like when I say that, I mean just kind of make catalysts maybe have a chance to drop at the end again, or some more to drop at the end again, because there's really not much that do anymore. Not to mention that they used to have exotics tied to strikes, kinda. Like, you remember Icebreaker, Destiny 1 Year 3? I want something like that, where there was like a chance to get that exotic from the strike, and like, it was super exciting when you got it. I also wish that they just bring back more weapons and create more weapons. Like they gotta start making more weapons for the core playlist for sure. But if they really actually aren't able to do that, just bring back all of the Destiny 1 Vanguard weapons. I don't think a lot of I think a lot of people would not like it at first, that's for sure. But if they really have their back against the wall and aren't able to produce content at that rate, then I guess we could do that. That could work, but that's just my opinion on that. As they are right now, strikes are not in a good spot, and they really need changing. And I hope that maybe by some off chance that some Bungie dev looks at this and is like, hey, that's a good idea. Or maybe hopefully some people just pick this up and decide to pass this on. I really wish to see the Strike playlist thrive, and I'm trying to be as respectful as possible to Bungie because at the end of the day, just yelling at them and being an asshole to Bungie devs isn't going to get anything done. But that was my 2 cents on how I would make the Strike playlist better. Leave in the comments something that I missed and maybe something you'd like to see, but this is just kinda how I'd want strikes to be. I'm Colio Thorolio, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe and like, but only if you did. But peace.